Okay, so we're going to kind of continue what we've been developing so far. We've been talking about what role cells play in the organization of life, and today we'll be talking about the chemical elements in cells and also connecting them to the macromolecules. So remember how last lesson we had an acronym, which was CHOMPS. Does anybody remember what this stands for?
Chemical?
The chemical elements. Good.
Yay!
So we're going to be talking about, and I'm not going to name them right now, I need you to remember them. And if you don't remember them, then when you are doing your web quest, you can look it up. So we will be discussing how the elements are involved in the macromolecules, because molecules are made up of elements, and you'll see how all of this ties together. And then in upcoming lessons we'll be talking about mitosis and different functions of the cell on kind of a small scale, and then we're building up to a large scale to the point where we'll be talking about autotrophs and heterotrophs. So let's to introduce you to the web quest, here's the handout I'll be giving you, and I expect you to be able to fill this out and take notes. Down here at the bottom there's a place for notes. So in each of these will be the macromolecules, and then their building blocks, kind of the next step up, the smallest block, and then larger, and then their function and elements. And if this doesn't all fit in there, that's okay. You can put them on your notes, or just take notes in your notebook. So let's go ahead and go to the computer lab. You have your logins, and we'll start from there. We'll have 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah. Where do I go to fill this out?
Okay. So, you need to, what kind of information do you need according to your sheet?
Macromolecules.
Okay, macromolecules. So you could type that into your search engine. Good, so she found a site that says what are 4 types of macromolecules and what makes up each of them. So are you finding some of your answers?
I think so. Hopefully.
Okay, good. So what Brittany will be doing is just searching whatever she can to help her find the answers to this worksheet. And so far she's found lipids, and she just kind of fills in the blanks in this graphic organizer. Okay, you have about 10 seconds till it's the end of your web quest race. Let's see how she's doing. I kind of check on the students, see how they're doing. If they've got something really wrong, then I'll say, have you double checked your source on this? Did you read thoroughly? Try to prompt them to recheck it. It looks like Brittany's done really well. Great job, Brittany. Okay, let's go back into the classroom. Okay, so now you've done your web quest. How many of you, by a raise of hands, need more time to write down some extra notes from your laptops? Okay, so go ahead and we'll give you 2 minutes, and then we'll come together again and continue. Okay, 2 minutes have passed. Alright, so we are going to go over the structure, just kind of as an introduction. I don't expect you to remember everything today, but I'm hoping that a lot of this can get ingrained today so that tomorrow when we review, you'll be ready to be quizzed on this. So, we'll discuss the structure of each and the chemicals in each of the macromolecules, and then as a checkout, we're going to do checkout clay. So I have brought clay, and pay attention now as we go over the structure, because I want you at the end of class, I'll assign you to a certain macromolecule, and then I expect you to be able to make that macromolecule as you leave class today. Okay? So, using your handout, what are the elements in carbohydrates?
Carbon.
Carbon. Excellent. Key in the carb. Carbon. Excellent. Anything else?
Hydrogen.
Good. And one more.
Oxygen.
Great. Okay, so this is represented in a structure. Oftentimes you'll see, you've probably seen this before in something you've read, has a structure with two rings. And within these, you will have carbon at each of these points, and then you also have hydrogen. And they don't draw those. We don't need to go too in depth. But just so you have an idea of how this is represented, because later on in your scientific careers in this high school, you will need to use these to a greater degree. Okay. Does anybody here know how to draw a lipid? Okay. So in your notes, I want you to draw a lipid if you know what it is, and if you don't know what it is, then turn to your neighbor who does know and compare how it looks. Okay. So did you know how to do it? Okay. Good. Okay, let's bring it back to the board again. So, lipids have their own structure, and it's very much different from carbohydrates. Lipids have a long tail. Fact.
Like a monkey?
Like a monkey. Yeah. So, I'm going to just kind of glance at my notes here. Okay. So we have like fatty acids, which look more or less like this, with carbon, with covalent bond with oxygen, here, and then a long tail. So lipids actually combine these, and there will be three tails for triglyceride, and phospholipid is something similar, but it has a phosphate group. So just for the context of this class, know that the triglyceride would have more tails, and we'll discuss that further tomorrow. And does anybody have any questions on lipids?
Are the tails just made up of carbon?
Yes, it's a carbon tail.
Okay.
So, this will be useful for understanding. You probably wondered about like, why is a trans fat, and it has to do with the structure. That's why we learn about these things, and it affects your cells. So that all has to do with your growth and everything. So just try to keep a big picture point of view as we go through this. Alright. It's now been 2 minutes later and we've already discussed the 4 macromolecules and we're going to go into our end of class activity, which is checkout play. So, I'm going to hand out play to everyone. Morgan, do you mind using this? Okay, Brittany, you as well. Here you go. Alright, Brittany, I want you to make a lipid. Just a basic unit of it. So, that would be triglyceride. We'll give this to Morgan. Okay.
Triglyceride or just the lipid?
Just the lipid is fine. How's it going, Morgan? Good. Okay. So as you're putting that together, what have you drawn, or what have you molded here?
Well, this is the carbon tail.
Okay.
Carbon, 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 carbon. And then it is covalently bonded to oxygen there and there.
Good.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Very good. Do you remember if there was a difference between this bond and this bond? Were they both supposed to be the same?
Were they just both covalently bonded?
Yeah. The one is a double bond. So could you add... So if you add that, then your picture will be complete enough for this course today.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, do you have any other questions before you go?
No!
Okay. Great job, Brittany. Alright, everybody bring your clay models to me and I'll check them off. Have a great day, class.
Okay, yeah.